Hello everyone, it's me, the reviewer guy, and today I got quite the review today. Recently, I had finished the first season of Halo, and with season 2 out, well, first couple episodes, but still, I thought it would be a good idea to watch the first season. And oh boy, did it suck! Like, subscribe, comment, I'm gonna need it. Especially if you guys want me to do season 2. Let's punch that subscribe button and get ourselves to 10 subscribers, shall we? Easily the most prevalent issue is that Master Chief keeps taking his helmet off all the time. I mean, it's like, is he Darth Helmet from Spaceballs or something?
I can't breathe in this thing!
Out of curiosity, I looked up how much of the season did John have his helmet on. And according to someone on Reddit, how much of the season did John have his helmet on? And according to someone on Reddit, John had his helmet on for about 30 minutes. For comparison, one episode is about an hour long, meaning he hadn't even had the helmet on for an entire episode so far. And it's, kind of a big deal because think of it like this. Imagine if the original trilogy of Star Wars, Darth Vader was constantly taking his helmet off in front of people and we saw his face. Now imagine the end where he showed his face to Luke. All the meaning, all the impact would be gone because he was constantly taking his helmet off in this hypothetical scenario. But since he had his helmet on the entire time, we never saw his face, so it had all that meaning and impact behind it. But John constantly taking his helmet off takes away all mystery from the character. But that is the least of the show's issues. Another problem is the inconsistency with certain aspects of the show. Like in one episode, one of the Spartans was in a ship and it crashed and blew up. And at least how they framed it, it seemed like she was basically inside of that giant fireball. But yet, she was completely fine. Wasn't injured at all, no chips on her armor, nothing. I'm not even sure if her shield popped. But yet, in the season finale, there was another Spartan who got blown up by a plasma grenade and was basically on her deathbed. But yet, the Spartan that got blown up by the ship was on top of the Spartan that got blown up by a grenade. Like, really, like, right next to her. And she was not critically injured at all. I mean, what sense does that make? Forget the fact that the Spartan that got plasma grenaded survived when I'm pretty sure a direct hit with a grenade and it would kill you in the games. How is it that one Spartan almost dies and another one that is right next to them survives with no real injuries? And plus, I'm convinced that the energy shields are really inconsistent. Sometimes it seems like they never recharge, or at times they seem to recharge very quickly, or the shields don't even get depleted at all. It's a mystery. If I had to say what episode was the worst, I'd say the worst was the episode that focused exclusively on a side character by the name of Quan. The episode shows her trying to find some group her dad was in and try to continue on a revolution that was led by her dad, who got killed by an elite in the first episode. Because, it is definitely smart to charge an alien that is super deadly and super hard to kill, which you should know that because, you've seen them kill basically the entire town. But anyways, at one point she's driving into this giant dust cloud instead of avoiding it because I guess it's a good idea to drive when you can't see 2 inches in front of you in the desert, far away from the nearest town. So she ends up getting captured by the people who just so happen to be the same people she's looking for. Boy, that's lucky. Definitely not plot convenience. They say that she's not ready for something, and then she yells at them, and they're like, okay, maybe you are ready. And then after drinking something that makes her trip out, she goes back to her hometown, which, how on earth did she even know how to get to this town? Where she was in the middle of nowhere and probably had never been to this camp before. And shortly after she shows up, the bad guys decided to make an appearance. And on a quick tangent, why exactly, what exactly makes this guy the bad guy? I mean, yes, he and his goons are dressed in black and drive a black car, all the hallmarks of a cliche bad guy. But what exactly was this guy's motives? What made him bad guy? I think there was a line that he was trying to get the planet to become a member of the UNSC, but they don't really explain why he's the villain. Anyways, the thing that really made me hate this episode was when Quan hid under this truck and found Master Chief's assault rifle that was from the first episode. Now, in that episode, he threw down his assault rifle because he ran out of ammo, right? You would think so. Why would, that's the only logical sense of why you would throw down your gun, right? Nope. Apparently, he still had some bullets left in the magazine. And Quan shot this one fuel tank, which she also managed to do with perfect accuracy and also without even any noticeable recoil, even though we've never seen her do anything with a gun before. So, how are we supposed to believe that she's that good at shooting? Whatever, that killed bad guys. All I want to know is why on earth would John throw away a gun that still had some bullets in it? And I know he had to have known that he would have still had some ammo left in the gun, since the gun has an ammo display right on it. And not only that, his helmet also has an ammo display. There's no way he would have never known that he had bullets in the gun. He would have known that. Another issue is the overall story. John and the other Spartans find this artifact in a cave, and the Coven is also looking for the same artifact. The first problem is the artifact and another bigger version of the same thing are clearly exposed in the caves. And that not only did the Covenant not find any of them, but no other explorer or miner or someone else find these artifacts except for John. So John touches it and it shows him part of his past. Every time he touches the artifact, more and more of his past is revealed and he begins to question everything. Now, while yes, conceptually the story is interesting, so it's not only does it tell us John's backstory, but it also shows us the lengths members of the UNSC would go to win the war, and with Dr. Halsey, change how humans work fundamentally. But there are two problems with this. This doesn't really seem like a story that would be told in the first season. It seems more like a story that would be told later on in the show, like the second season, when we actually have time with the characters and stuff like that. But the second problem is that this just doesn't really seem to line up with the games. Granted, I'm not super familiar with the lore of Halo, but what I do know is that this season takes place sometime before Halo Reach, and I think it even takes place before Combat Evolved. since in that game they actually see a Halo ring, whereas in the show, John only saw one in a vision. And so, if I'm correct with that, then that means that John in the show acts way more different than John in the games. What I'm saying is that this seems to conflict with the games in a huge way. You know, John in the show is way more rebellious than John in games, where in the games he's pretty obedient, it seems. And not to mention, there was another issue with the story was that there was this part where they were trying to find this Covenant planet, but they didn't know where it was at. With the exception of this one lady who was sort of working with the Covenant, more on her later. But the kicker is that the UNSC had captured a Covenant ship, but didn't even start to do anything like reverse engineering, looking into the ship, nothing. And I'm pretty sure they had this for a couple of days minimum. Like, I'm just saying, like, couldn't it be possible that this Covenant ship would have had a map of where this planet is at? Like other information about it and stuff like that? Like, it just seems so much of an oversight. This lady, which, much like most characters of the show, I just kind of forgot her name, has the same powers as John with the artifact. But the problem is her motives seem to change on a whim. She goes from wanting to kill John to wanting to help John, then goes back to wanting to help the Covenant, then goes back to John. It's like I get the idea that she fell in love with him or something, but it felt incredibly forced and out of place. But even then, like, why would she continue to help the Covenant? Like in the final episode, she touched the artifacts that the Covenant would have a harder time killing John, but yet she was also drawing up this map which would show the placement of some weapon as she was touching this artifact. And the thing that doesn't make any sense is if she could straight up kill people with the artifact, talk to John within a vision, and cause mass destruction, why can't she have it where the map isn't made when she touches the artifact? That's so incredibly stupid. But anyways, in short, this season absolutely sucked. The best comparison I can think of with this show is in that one scene in Falling Down where the guy goes into a discount McDonald's, gets a burger, but the burger is nothing like the one shown in the mini pictures. This show looks like it could have been good, but the end product is nothing what the ads showed us. Maybe the second season will be an improvement, but well, I think that's wishful thinking. I'm gonna give it a 1 out of 10.